Talkopolis, the social media TV network for your city.
Hi guys, Kane Harrison here. Welcome to Nashville's Best, where we showcase the very best in Nashville local business. And today we are joined by Angelia Williams. Welcome, Angelia. She is the owner of the voice studio of Angelia Williams.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming past.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, obviously a vocal coach and been doing it for many years, which we will talk about. Okay. But let's find out a little bit about yourself first.
Sure.
Now, I know that you aren't a Nashville local, that you've moved to Nashville.
Right. I am originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My family and I moved here about 3 years ago, and we love it.
Yeah.
My husband and I used to visit Nashville because my in-laws moved here first, and we kind of fell in love with it and the culture, and of course the music culture kind of gripped us, definitely me, and that's why we ended up relocating here.
Fantastic. Now we'll talk about your relocation and things like that, but let's talk about your vocal coaching, I guess, because you've been doing it for a long time and you were doing it prior to moving here. Let's talk about how you transitioned into teaching.
Definitely. Well, I've been singing all my life, and it's kind of just grown up with me. I started touring at 14, 15 years old, and I decided to go to, and then when you start having children, of course, your life kind of changes. So in my 20s, I needed to look towards something that was a little more beneficial financially so that I can support a family or help to support a family. So I decided to go to college. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and received my bachelor's in music with a concentration in voice. And from there I started, and before I graduated, I had started doing vocal coaching and working with adults and children alike. So when I graduated, it just kind of took off. I was able to really focus and continue my education in that field. So
now I know you had a fantastic business where you were from, and now you've made the shift to Nashville, which can be really difficult. I mean, how do you find your feet? We were talking a little bit off camera before that you'd done some fantastic offers and things, largely attracting children, which you've built a great clientele around. But it's not only children that you teach.
No, it's not only children. I work with all ages, all genres, and all skill levels. I have 4-year-olds that are just starting to sing, and their parents call me and say, I think they want to sing. And we start them and see, where it goes. And then I have professional singers also that have been singing all their life too. They just decided for whatever the reason that they needed some coaching, or they decided, for whatever the reason, need to switch coaches.
Sure.
So I work with all different, I have a very diverse studio.
Now, I know you just mentioned switching coaches, and of course for the people at home, whether you want to be a fantastic guitar player or a football player or a tennis player or get a good golf swing, vocals are exactly the same. You need to practice, you need to be constantly learning how to look after your voice. What are some of the techniques that perhaps make you special as a teacher?
Well, I am very big on not screaming when you sing and knowing how to use your body, because one thing about a voice lesson or learning to use the voice, it's different than a piano lesson or a clarinet lesson where you're actually physically touching an instrument. I can't tell you to go over and hit a C because your voice is your instrument. So I really focus on learning how to physiologically be in tune with your body when you're singing, how not to scream, how to sing with your lower body. Just like a boxer, when a boxer is boxing, he's using his lower body. That's where all of his strength and power come from. It's the same thing when you sing. So I get a lot of singers that are that say, can you teach me how not to scream out a note? Can you teach me how not to strain? So I'm very big on vocal health, how to maintain the voice, how to take care of it, how not to basically blow the voice.
Absolutely.
Because I have tons of friends who didn't really find it beneficial or necessary to have a voice coach because a lot of people are just gifted. We just kind of know how to sing. But what happens is they come to me down the road and say, I wish I would have listened because now I've developed nodules or now I've developed polyps. And I have a couple very good friends who have had surgery because of it. So I'm really keen on vocal health, and that's what I kind of try to focus on.
Now, the other thing, I mean, I know we talk about when you think of a teacher, you're learning new things all the time, but imagine there's a big chunk of your people that you have to unlearn all the bad things they've learned over a long period of time, which, talk about that process.
Yes.
I mean,
I am the poster child for unlearning because remember, I did not start college until I was 28.
Right.
So I had never been vocally trained.
But naturally gifted.
Naturally gifted.
Yes.
I grew up in the church, and that's what I did. And that was my platform. Well, when I started college, I had to unlearn all of these things. So I think I have a very high level of compassion and patience for my older students that come in and have been singing incorrectly for years, because it's almost like training yourself to learn the wrong words of a song, and you keep singing the wrong words of a song even though you know those are the wrong words. You have to completely kind of rewire yourself to do it properly. So I get a lot of that, and I think it's because when a person first starts with me, I tell them right off the bat, you know, I have been through this process. When you come in for your first lesson, I make an initial assessment, and a lot of times with my adult students, it's a million things wrong versus my little students, my children, it may be a few things that we need to fix.
Sure.
So I think I just have a level of compassion because I've been there.
Well, I think that we touched on two things that I want to carry over. Of course, this will be a two-part interview with Angelia, who we so much love having here. But I think, one, you've walked a mile in their shoes because you've done it. The second thing is you're a mum, so I think you know how to communicate with, first of all, vulnerabilities, which can come with an adult as well, having to stand there and then say, sing. But more importantly, with the kids that are coming through. And I want to talk more about that in depth when we come back on Nashville's Best.